I'm still alive! I promise I'm still alive. Any reports of my death have been hugely exaggerated. Welcome once again to British Guy Reacts. It's been a very long time. Specifically, it's been, I believe, 2 prime ministers and 1 monarch ago in British terms. I'm sorry about the gap. I'm going to try and return to regular weekly videos. But let's not get dragged on where I was or what I was doing or exactly which prison I was being held in. That's for another time. Let's get back to the good stuff. So I have got another reaction video. This is one I'm very excited about. It is from Food Insider, and it is the most iconic food from each US state. So, I mean, make me hungry, America. I'm sure you're going to succeed, but make me hungry. So without further ado, let's play the video. Let's go. Oh, that does look good.
New York pizza. Here is each state's favorite food.
I love myself a pizza.
Is smoked chicken with white sauce. Chicken is smoked for hours.
So, okay, very quickly, a general point, but I love American food. I know this is going to sound like a kind of slightly weird thing to say. You're meant to say you love, I don't know, Korean or specifically, I love American diner food. Like, I love burgers and fries and milkshakes and waffles, all the stuff I really shouldn't love. And I'm not even, well, I'm slightly ashamed of it, but I'm only slightly ashamed of it. So hopefully some of that stuff's going to feature. But as an intro, I love the kind of the American diner experience.
And then dunked in a tangy white sauce.
Ooh. That does look good.
Alaska commercially harvests more than 100 million salmon a year.
Okay.
It can be cooked a number of ways. Grilled, smoked, cured, you name it. The Sonoran dog is originally from Mexico, but is extremely popular in Arizona.
That looks fantastic. So what is that, like a giant hot dog with some kind of Mexican theme?
The hot dog is topped with beans, onions, tomato, and a drizzle of mustard, and jalapeno salsa.
If I ever come to New Mexico, definely trying one of them.
Arkansas takes its cheese dip very seriously. There's
good for you, Arkansas.
World Cheese Dip Championship in Little Rock every year. 90% of the avocados produced in the U.S. come from California.
Okay.
And it's not just
having California have avocados as its favourite food is so stereotypical, I'm sorry. Also, I'm not that, I mean, avocados are fine, but I'm a bad millennial. I'm not that into avocados. So, yeah, sorry my generation.
Guacamole and avocado toast that's being made. There are avocado burgers, fries, chocolate, and even beer. Rocky Mountain oysters are a Colorado specialty.
Okay.
And they're not oysters. They're deep-fried bull testicles.
Oh,
some say they taste like gamey calamari.
Bull testicles? Oh my god. I mean, honestly, is it bad that I want to try one? I think it might be bad, but genuinely they look quite nice. I never thought that I'd be sitting here saying, you know what, I really want to eat some bull testicles. But I do.
New Haven-style pizza,
I knew there would be some pizzas,
is characterized by its coal-fired thin crust. It originated at the Frank Pepe Pizzeria, which is also known for its white clam pizza.
That looks amazing. Not the white clam one so much, so I'm not sure if I like clams or not, but the other one looks amazing. I'm expecting quite a few pizzas to feature, because when you think of pizza culture, obviously Italy is the king, but America is definitely second place, a very strong second place as well, with like Chicago pizza, New York pizza. Yeah, it's beautiful. I really like pizza. So,
chicken and slippery dumplings is a delicate comfort food. These slippery dumplings are rolled out paper thin.
That almost looks like something British people would eat. Chicken and slippery dumplings. It's like sort of cottage pie. It looks like the sort of thing I used to have when I was a kid, let me put it that way. And I'm not going to say if that's a good or a bad thing, just in case my parents ever find these videos. But that's what it looks like. And so, yeah, this will be lower down my priority list than the pizzas, I'll put it that way.
And cut into large rectangles. The Cuban sandwich is made with ham, roast pork, Swiss cheese, pickles, and mustard. It was created by Cuban immigrants in Florida.
That looks amazing.
Peach cobbler is one of the most popular desserts in Georgia, especially since the peach is the official state fruit.
That again looks fantastic.
It consists of diced raw fish such as salmon or tuna.
Okay, I'm not big on raw fish, I'm not going to lie. Although, to be fair, I've never really tried it. But I've had like a bit of sushi and didn't hugely like it. So, sorry Hawaii. I had a whole holiday planned, a couple of weeks. Cancelling it all now because I don't want your raw fish. I'm just messing with you.
Tossed in sauce. Idaho grows the most potatoes in the U.S. These potatoes are made into French fries, chips, and other carb delights.
Ah.
Well,
Wait. So Idaho's speciality is just potatoes? That seems like every other state so far has had like some speciality dish, and Idaho it's just like yeah, well, potatoes. Honestly, I think the potatoes are great. I'm all on board with that, but I think they should have like something a little bit more specific.
there is a debate on which restaurant has the best. It's irrefutable that Chicago deep dish pizza is a must-have.
Of course,
The
that
gooey
looks.
treat is baked in a pan and full of cheese.
I've never been to. If I go to Chicago, I've never been to Chicago.
Indiana
100%
loves
have
its
as much
tenderloin
pizza as I can.
sandwiches, especially when they're fried to crispy perfection. These sandwiches are known for being bigger than your face.
It's quite scary. It's bigger than your face. Like, I'm trying to work out how that fits in my stomach. I mean, I suppose it's just about possible, but I used to watch an American show called Man vs. Food, which I can't remember the guy who did it, but I can't remember the guy's name. Anyway, he would go around all these restaurants having these amazing meals that sort of looked like a heart attack on a plate, but also looked just fantastic. And I always really, really wanted to try them. Like that is my type of food. I don't sort of like the really sophisticated little portions, sort of stuff you might get in like a fancy Paris restaurant. I want an enormous burger with a ridiculous number of sauces. It makes no sense, which tastes fantastic and which might kill me.
The Made Right sandwich is a loose meat beef sandwich. It's kind of like a sloppy Joe without the sauce.
I have absolutely no idea what a sloppy Joe is, but it sounds slightly concerning. If you know what a sloppy Joe is, please tell me in the comments, because I've heard of it before, but I have no idea what it is. And it sounds... I'm not going to let my mind wander on that one.
It can get a little bit messy.
I'm not going to worry why Joe's sloppy.
But it is totally worth it. Kansans love their barbecue ribs. Baby backs are coated with special rub and smothered with finger-licking barbecue sauce.
Ooh.
The hot brown is an open-faced sandwich consisting of turkey, tomato, Mornay sauce, and bacon. It's put under a broiler until crispy and brown, and was invented in the Brown Hotel in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
Gumbo is a Louisiana
So I'm not huge on tomato on its own, but that looked fantastic.
treasure, and also the state's official cuisine. The dish has its roots in many different cultures, including African, French, and Choctaw.
So this is really interesting. So one of the things about American food, and I guess like American culture generally, particularly American food, is you can see the influx of the kind of the impact of all the different cultures and all the different nationalities which have moved to America, and which kind of created America as it is today. And I find it really interesting how there's these you sort of get combinations that you would never get anywhere else in the world because different people have been mixing in America in a way they haven't been other places, certainly not until at least recently. So that's really interesting.
Often served from a big pot, it's filled with chicken and sausage.
Ooh, I like.
Lobster rolls rule in Maine.
Of course.
Especially
of
since
course.
90% of U.S. lobsters are caught off the Maine coast. A lobster roll is piled high with...
Which is crazy when you think about it, because Maine's quite a small state, isn't it, I think?
Large chunks of lobster with little to no fillers. Marylanders are obsessed with crab.
Okay.
And one of the best ways to eat it is crab cake.
Marylanders have crabs. I'll remember that. Don't you worry.
Just don't forget.
Maybe not the way I'm thinking.
Add some Old Bay. No food is more iconic in Massachusetts than clam chowder. This creamy soup is filled with vegetables, cream, stock, and clams. Get it in a bread bowl to make it extra special. Mackinac Island fudge is a must-have in Michigan. There are over 13 fudge shops, collectively making more than 10,000 pounds of fudge daily during the peak travel season, making Mackinac Island America's fudge capital.
That looks amazing. Like, if there's any fudge companies out there who want to sponsor this channel, let me just say my rates are very cheap. For like $1 of fudge, I will basically become your slave.
Nothing screams Minnesota more than tater tot hot dish. Vegetables, ground beef, and cream of mushroom soup are topped with tater tots and roasted to golden perfection.
I love the sound of this.
You can find the best fried catfish in Mississippi.
Okay.
Not surprising, since the state is the world's leading producer of pond-raised catfish. Toasted ravioli is St. Louis's fun take on the pasta dish. Each ravioli is breaded, fried, and served with marinara sauce.
That sounds
Huckleberries
brilliant.
are
I'm a big fan of frying things. If you ever go to particular Scotland, they'll fry anything for you. They'll fry a pizza for you. The taste is interesting, but it's good fun. Oh, what's this? Oh, huckleberry.
grown in the northwestern United States, especially in the mountainous parts of Montana, and they can be made into anything.
Huckleberry jam, huckleberry girls, huckleberry man, berry cherry pretzels, huckleberry sauce, huckleberry.
You get it.
Honestly, not sure I've ever had a huckleberry. I'm curious to try.
Chili with a cinnamon roll is a match made in heaven.
Okay.
This pairing has been served as a school lunch in the Midwest since the 1960s.
Huh. It's not a natural combination, but I can kind of see it working.
Pre-coronavirus, buffet culture was big in Las Vegas. Prices range from $5 for a breakfast buffet to $65 at the Bacchanal Buffet at Caesar's Palace, which included unlimited prime rib and crab legs. Apple cider donuts are...
So Caesar's Palace. Did Caesar stay there? That's a hangover joke if anyone didn't get it. I'm not a complete moron. Of course he stayed there, along with Mark Antony, I
a
believe.
New England favorite. New Hampshire is home to many apple orchards, including the oldest continuously operated one in America, Applecrest Farms. Saltwater taffy dates back to the 1880s in Atlantic City, New Jersey. A mixture of corn syrup, sugar, and butter is stretched until it becomes aerated, then individually wrapped.
So that's like sweets, I think, like cat candy.
The New Mexico chili is a staple ingredient in New Mexico cuisine.
Okay.
It starts out as a green pepper and ripens into a red one. It's often roasted or made into a puree. New York
So again, like some states get like a full meal, and so like it's a handful just get a food type. I feel a little bit sorry for the ones who just get a food type.
pizza is legendary.
Of
Some
course.
say it's the New York City tap water that gives the dough its characteristic foldable yet crispy crust.
So I've only been to New York once in my life. Would have been in 2017, and I did have a pizza, and it was amazing and fantastic, and melt in your mouth, and also I had constipation the next day. So I don't think that was just the fault of the pizza. I think that was me generally having a terrible diet because the food was so great. So yeah, I would absolutely adore New York pizza.
There are two barbecue styles in North Carolina, Eastern and Lexington. Eastern
okay.
lays claim to whole hog barbecuing, while Lexington style mostly uses pork shoulder meat with a ketchup-based sauce. Nefla soup is rich and creamy, filled with potato and small dough balls. This
Okay.
dish comes from the German Russians who settled in North Dakota.
So that's it. That's where the kind of the fascinating cultural intertwining comes from, right? Not just from the Russians or the Germans, because that would be too simple. We're going to take it from both. We're going to have the German-Russian dish, and then we're going to add an American twist to it, naturally.
The Buckeye is a peanut butter ball dipped in chocolate. It resembles the nut of the Buckeye tree, often found in Ohio.
So unfortunately, we call those conkers. Unfortunately, I don't really like peanut butter very much, which I know it's like a huge thing in America, and Americans really like peanut butter and jelly, which I believe is what you call jam. But so I'm not huge on peanut butter, but like it looks really cool. It looks like a profiterole, and I like profiteroles. So as long as you didn't tell me it's peanut butter until I bit into it.
Chicken fried steak is the epitome of Southern comfort food. A large piece of beef steak is breaded and pan-fried, and you can't forget the gravy.
Of course not.
The Marionberry pie is
Barbarism.
an Oregon favorite. The Marionberry was actually created at Oregon State University as part of a berry developing partnership
Really?
with the U.S. Department of Agriculture in the early 1900s.
Wait. The berry was invented at a university. How does that work? Or like slightly modified at a university?
The Philly
I need to know more about this. As soon as I finish this video, I'm going to Google these weird university-made berries. Not totally sure I trust them, but this sounds really interesting.
cheesesteak is world famous. A hoagie roll is loaded with an absurd amount of beef steak.
Oh,
Then provolone or cheese whiz is added on top.
That's
Stuffed clams,
fantastic.
also known as stuffies, are a local favorite in Rhode Island.
Okay.
Giant quahog
Right.
clams are stuffed with clam, herbs, and breading. You've got to try a low country boil in South Carolina. It consists of shrimp, sausages, potatoes, corn, and some Old Bay. Chislick is pieces of cubed red meat, typically lamb, venison, or beef.
Ooh.
It's usually grilled or deep fried. German and
Nice.
Russian immigrants are credited with bringing the dish to South Dakota in the 1870s.
Those German Russians again.
Memphis-style ribs can be prepared dry
Oh, that
or
looks
wet.
good.
Dry ribs are covered with a dry rub, while wet ribs are brushed with sauce throughout the cooking process. Texas goes big for barbecue. It's especially known for its juicy fall-off
Of course, Texas barbecue. Yeah, very iconic.
the bone ribs and tender briskets that have been smoked all day. Jell-O is so popular in Utah that it's the official state.
So this is what we call jelly, which I think you guys call what we call jam, jelly, or something. I'm getting a bit confused here, but that's definitely what we call jelly.
Snack. Utah culture is closely tied to Mormon culture, which also loves Jell-O.
Okay.
Vermont is the leading producer of maple syrup in the U.S. Tree sap is boiled into sugar and then filtered into syrup before making its way onto your pancakes.
I had no idea how that's what. I mean, obviously, I associate maple syrup strongly with Canada. I had no idea that's how it was made. That's really interesting, and it is just gorgeous. I mean, genuinely, there's part of me that kind of wants to combine some of these together, like that really nice sort of like really big Mexican hot dog thing. I think it would go great. Oh well. It shouldn't go with maple syrup. I really want to try it with maple syrup. So.
Smithfield ham is a hometown favorite for Virginia.
Ooh.
It's a specific form of ham cured in Smithfield, Virginia. Coffee culture is big in Washington. Home to coffee giant Starbucks, the state also has many independently owned coffee shops to fuel your caffeine cravings.
Okay.
West Virginians love their pepperoni rolls. They were invented as an easy lunch meal for coal miners in the 1920s.
So that's kind of like in the UK, we get Cornish pasties, which started out in exactly the same way. I think the tin miners used to take them down to the mines. So it sounds kind of similar. And actually they're semi-similar in terms of what type of food they are, I think.
Wisconsin is considered the cheese state. And one of the best ways to eat cheese is cheese curds.
So which is the NFL team that wears like the bits of cheese on their head? Has that got anything to do with Wisconsin, or is that something completely different? Please tell me in the comments. I'm really interested.
Whether they're eaten fresh or deep fried, they make an awesome snack.
Oh, that does look good.
Bison steaks are popular in Wyoming. They're described as having a lighter, slightly sweeter flavor than beef.
Ah. Well, okay, I think that's the end. That all looks fantastic. I'm now really hungry. I had a cheese sandwich about an hour ago, but it doesn't quite measure up to some of the things I saw on that. I mean, generally, like UK food. Well, the UK has lots of good food, but it's generally taken from other cultures. Our indigenous stuff. The reputation UK food has, I would say, is deserved. Some of it is interesting. But I hope you enjoyed that. I found that really interesting. So it's fascinating to realise how much variation there is between US states, which I don't think you totally realise as a kind of complete outsider. But actually, some of the states have distinct cultures themselves, and it's not just all kind of one big America. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. Please do subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon.